Hey everyone, what's up and welcome to today's video. Now, before we continue, just want to start by running through a few things of what we're going to do for today's video, as well as giving you insight into what we're going to do for the next coming couple of weeks. First, before we continue, just want to say please, thank you for watching, and click a like, share, subscribe. Make sure you stay tuned with everything going on with this channel. But before we get any further, roll the intro. Okay, welcome back. Now, before we continue, let's start by clearing up a few different things. Today's video is all going to be about 5 key things that you subconsciously might be doing that's restricting you from achieving your best. Now, this goes into a lot of things mainly, but for today we're talking about photography and filmmaking and any attempts in terms of creativity. But we are not talking about technical aspects. So for today, what we're not doing, we're not going to be talking about different things like what you need to have in terms of like the best lenses, whether or not you shoot with film or digital spec cameras, whether you read the biggest books and everything covering every single aspect and topic of your subject and choice, or even by doing things simply by using your old smartphone. Now, I wouldn't use this one because mine's pretty awful, but that's beside the point. There's a lot of things that we do every single day that actually stops us from achieving our goals. Things that I do on a daily basis, things that you probably do without even knowing. But for today, we're going to be covering the top 5 things that I personally think actually stops a lot of people from achieving their best or achieving any goals that they wish to set their eyes on. Number 1, comparing yourself to others. This is a daily thing that happens where you go through, and it could be in any aspect whatsoever in terms of family members, friends, people you see on social media, especially with how wide the network is nowadays. Everybody does it. You know, it doesn't matter what kind of car you drive, what kind of shoes you wear, anything. We all subconsciously judge and compare ourselves to other people. And this is a huge factor as to why we never will achieve what we want to. By comparing yourself to others, yes, it has a few benefits. So you can go through, you can actually see how they do things and learn how to improve, by therefore making yourself a better person. But the thing that a lot of people do, including myself, is sit in a situation where you go,
see, it's easy for them because they've got this, they've got the best camera equipment. How on earth would I be able to do something like that? Perhaps it was just the fact that they were born with it and they actually could do it like that. You know, it's so easy for some people. It's a shame because what I want to do is exactly like them, but I can't compete with something like that. Their work is a hell of a lot better.
These are little tiny things that might come across as just general comments, but they stay with you for quite a while. And by restricting yourself to having that viewpoint, you really do subconsciously do a lot of damage in terms of what you think of yourself and what you can do. Now, yes, like I said, comparing yourself to other people is very good, and you can always use each other to try and learn and improve. But the most important thing is to accept that what you do is the most important thing. There is no point in creating things or doing things simply for other people's pleasure when it makes you feel worse in the process. By doing things like that, you're ending up making yourself feel worse for no real gain, because by the time you stop, you're no further forward. Now, obviously, a lot of people could go through, especially in photography, filmmaking, videography, anything. People always go, oh, I would never be able to create a film like, say, Shawshank's Redemption, or I'm never going to be the person that creates the next Call of Duty. You know, but having that mentality, even if you had all the tools, whether it's cameras, whatever, having that mentality, it means that regardless of what you have, you will never fully achieve that goal. Yes, sometimes staying positive is a very difficult thing to do, but having a little bit more of a motivated approach to things does go quite a far distance. You know, motivation, determination, and a little bit of skill will help you in abundances with a lot of things. Number 2, waiting for the perfect moment. This is a very general thing that you can talk about, but especially in terms of film, photography, videography, whatever, there is never a perfect moment. Simple as. Yes, you could say with photography you can wait till golden hour and go through sunrise and sunsets and everything like that, but you'd end up waiting all the time for that one moment that you think is just perfect, and you just straight on the sweet spot. By the time you wait for that moment, the moment's already gone. The perfect moment is the moment you realise that anything can happen if you put your mind to it. If you spent all your time thinking to yourself, oh, wanted to do this, oh, why couldn't I have done that, if only I had taken that opportunity, you're going to live your life throughout with that regret. And especially in photography and film, it is important to seize every single opportunity that you have. Waiting for little moments like these can actually be very detrimental to you and your work. For instance, when I was starting up, I actually didn't want to go out and talk to a lot of people when it came to doing photography and videography, because I always thought to myself, it's not the right time, my skill level is not at a certain point that I want it to be, what if someone thinks I'm awful, yada yada yada. So I ended up not producing anything for a very long time. And you go to yourself with like, oh, wish I could have done this, or oh, I wish I could have actually done something a little bit better. That comes with time. You don't get that time in that precious moment without actually going outside and doing things. Number 3, fearing failure itself. Nobody likes to fail, simple as. But people very rarely get to create what they think is the pivotal of what they have made or want to do without tripping over every once in a while. You cannot get up to here without stepping over a few hurdles. And yes, sometimes you'll fall down, but you've just got to keep on getting up. I didn't actually think that I would be at the point where I could actually start expressing how I feel when it comes to a lot of things, until I realised that by me trying to find the perfect moment and avoid making mistakes and failures means that I was never doing anything. I'd always say to myself, oh, it's not the right moment, or I don't particularly feel like I'm in the right situation to go and do certain things. But because of that, because I didn't want to make yourself look like a fool or an idiot or anything of the sort, you never do anything, and then you regret that, and then you spend that time, instead of failing or making mistakes, then you can say never actually did it wrong, you end up waiting for the perfect moment, and then you go and comparing yourself to other people and going, oh, why did they do that, oh, how did they get to do that video, how did they get to go over there and make so many great things? So because they were willing to accept the mistakes and show that the mistakes don't define you, it's how you move on from them that make you who you are. And a lot of things like this, yes, is general life things and general things that you should know along the way. You don't mainly get that when you get on with age and you try to learn things as you go on. When you're younger, you don't really fear failure. Once you get a bit more responsibility and you get a little bit more pressure with you, that's when the fear kicks in. And if you're not careful, then it'll end up just driving you into not doing anything at all. We'll all live in this little cardboard box, and we don't want that. So the thing is with photography and film, do not ever fear failure. Fear and failure can sometimes help you drive and motivate you to create better things in the same process. But it can also restrict you into not doing anything at all, you know. If you think about big players in terms of film and photography now, they didn't get there without making mistakes. They didn't get there from being rejected or being told that their work needs to improve. And neither should you. You need to make sure that if there's anything that you're passionate in doing, do it. Yes, it will take time, but it's something that will always be worth doing. Number 4, and this is a little bit more tied in with the previous point, living in the safe zone. Living in the safe zone with a lot of things actually ties in with fearing failure. If you're in your little comfort zone, you don't have to experiment with a lot of things. You don't have to risk making a mistake. You don't have to risk embarrassing people. You don't have to go out of your own comfort box in terms of talking and interacting with people and actually being introduced to different things or different ideas. And with all that in consideration, living in a safe zone can be good if you're happy there. But after a while, regardless of whether you produce the best content, if you don't push yourself, you'll get bored. And with boredom, you get complacent. With complacency, you end up making more mistakes. And because you don't want to make those mistakes, you won't make anything. Simple as that. By stepping out and going into things that you never thought you would do before, it helps you in abundance. I was in that situation before, and I thought to myself, I really want to try something. And I put my head towards it, started doing it. And for that moment that I was going through it all, it literally felt incredible. It was amazing to actually meet other people that I actually liked working with, and people who had a similar idea to me, but also meet a lot of people in this industry that have different approaches to things. And different people's perspectives actually influence you a lot. Shows you different viewpoints into what other people can see, and also enlighten you in things that you might actually be ignoring, which is very important nowadays, especially with the fact that the older you get, you want to make sure that you are as versatile as you can be, and also be as confident as you can with yourself. Stepping out of the safe zone is brilliant. It's very scary and it can be a very daunting thing to do, but it's something that you need to do. I didn't want to send out my very first video that got sent through because I kept on seeing there was different mistakes and I was worried of what people would say. But then at the end I realised that if I didn't send out the work that I created, it would just sit on my computer and I would be here regretting that I'm not doing other things or doing what really makes me happy. And that's the thing, is a lot of this ties into photography and film, but most importantly it ties into about reevaluating yourself and making sure that you are better as a person and being the best that you can be, because at the end of the day you're the one that lives with yourself every day. And the fifth and final point for today, and most important aspect of this video in my opinion, confidence. Confidence and trust in your own ability and yourself. If you don't trust yourself and don't think that you are capable of doing it, you automatically put barriers in front of yourself. So that the first thing you say is, I can't do this. And then you go through and compare yourself.
I can't do this. Why can so-and-so do this? Why can't I do B-roll as epic as Peter McKinnon? Or why can't I drive a Ferrari as fast as Kimi Räikkönen? Anything, Why can't I cut my lawn as good as my neighbour?
Really stupid things, The reason you can't do it at that time is because you don't let yourself do it, you don't try, or you don't think that you are capable of it. So before you even try it, you're already failing yourself. By doing that, you're already causing yourself obstacles, you're disheartening yourself, you're making it less enjoyable, you're making it more stressful. And by losing the fun side of everything, that is what kills a lot of people when it comes to their hopes and their dreams in terms of what they want to do. Because that moment of feeling like crap and failing stops them from achieving a whole portion of their life, enjoying what they want to do and possibly actually feeling better in the process. Confidence is key, and without confidence we'd all just be walking around talking to ourselves, or even just going through day to day, same thing, regretting those steps that we took. Now I hope that you liked today's video. It was a little bit of a different insight into what possibly I think is key when it comes to making sure that you as a person, as well as a creator, photographer, whatever, these are things that I think are really important. These are things that I'd actually noticed and could progressively see becoming more and more important in terms of my personal life and with a lot of other people. If this is something that you like and you thought was quite interesting, then please hit a like down below. Leave your comments in the section below as well. Let me know what you think, offer any feedback on this topic, and please subscribe for more content as well. What I'll also do is I'm going to leave a few links down in the description for my social media, as well as my website and any other contact details that you need, as well as a few other channels that either for me produce amazing content that will actually help you gain a little bit more knowledge in things that I've spoken to you about today, as well as if you wanted to dive into more about personal welfare and improving your health and your viewpoint on things, there's other channels down in the link below. Please make sure that you go into these guys' channels, watch their content and subscribe to them, because these guys work hard as hell to produce amazing content. Also, I just want to say for the next video, what I'm going to do is I'm going to go through a little bit of an update in terms of things that are happening in the film industry currently. What I'm thinking of doing possibly will be going through a few of the new trailers that are coming out, and actually have an open discussion as to what you think is happening in terms of the landscape, seeing how films are progressing. Are we just getting rehashes of the same thing, or are we actually getting a lot more unique portrayals of things, especially using live animation, better CGI, and any updates really about the whole scene? Obviously with Comic-Con coming out, and it came out a little while back, we got a load of trailers that we can go through. One personally I'm looking forward to is a new Godzilla film, but most importantly, very looking forward to Venom. If that's something that you like, then please stay tuned for the next video. Thanks everyone, hope you have a lovely evening. Take care, bye.
We'll go through the wastelands, through the highways, and